In the world of everyday money, there is one coin that almost every American has touched, used, and carried in their pocket: the legendary U.S. quarter dollar. It may look small, but behind this 25-cent piece lies an entire universe of history, art, culture, and hidden stories that most people never notice. Every year, millions of quarters are minted, but only a few of them stand out because of their design, their background, or the historical moment they represent. In this video, we're going to take a deep look at 7 unique U.S. quarters, each with its own identity, message, and mystery. Whether you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just someone who enjoys learning about rare and interesting things, you are going to love this journey. Think about it. A simple quarter can travel through thousands of hands before ending up in your collection. Some come from special series, like the iconic 50-state quarters program that began in 1999 and changed the world of coin collecting forever. Others belong to the America the Beautiful series, which highlighted America's national parks and forests with detailed, story-rich artwork. And a few are one-year special designs, made only for a limited time and never repeated again. The 7 coins featured in today's video are perfect examples of how diverse and meaningful U.S. quarters can be. Each one captures a moment in American history, a unique place, or a symbol that defines a part of the nation's identity. Before we begin exploring each coin one by one in 7 individual parts, take a moment to imagine the journey these coins have taken. Some may have circulated through busy cities, supermarkets, vending machines, school cafeterias, and gas stations. Others may have been stored by collectors right from the day they were minted. Some of them represent states like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Tennessee, each state showing its personality and heritage through powerful miniature pieces of art. Others come from breathtaking national forests, carved in metal with impressive detail, showing the beauty of American wildlife and nature. And then we have the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware quarter, a special one-year design that stands apart from the modern state and park series, bringing back a powerful moment from America's Revolutionary War. These quarters are not just coins, they are tiny historical documents. They are physical reminders of the ideas, values, and real events that shaped the United States. They celebrate bravery, innovation, freedom, natural beauty, and cultural identity. Each design was chosen for a reason, and each symbol carved on these coins carries meaning that goes far beyond money. This video will take you on a full journey where we break down each coin in detail, explain what it represents, talk about the artwork, the year it was minted, and the historical background behind it. You'll discover things that most people never notice when they look at a quarter for just a moment before spending it. In part 1, we will begin with the classic 1983 Washington quarter, the only regular issue quarter in this lineup. Although its design looks simple compared to the newer state and park quarters, its story is important. It represents the foundation from which all special designs evolved. Then, in the next parts, we will dive into the state quarters, starting with the Rhode Island 2001 quarter, showcasing the ocean state with its iconic sailboat and bridge. After that, the Massachusetts 2000 quarter will introduce you to the Minuteman, a symbol of American independence. Part 4 will take you to Tennessee, the volunteer state, where music history is proudly carved into the coin through 3 different instruments. Moving forward, we enter the America the Beautiful series, beginning with the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest quarter, a tribute to Louisiana's untamed wilderness. Then we look at the 2016 Shawnee National Forest quarter from Illinois, highlighting one of the most stunning natural formations in the Midwest. Finally, in Part 7, we conclude with the bold and powerful 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware, an artistic salute to courage and leadership. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a deep dive exploration into the stories hidden inside 7 U.S. quarters that most people spend without ever noticing. This is not just a video. This is a journey through history, art, American heritage, and the incredible world of coin collecting. Today, in Part 2 of our detailed 7-part series, we begin with the story of the 1983 Washington quarter, a coin that looks simple at first glance, yet carries one of the most surprising and misunderstood histories in modern U.S. coin collecting. Although it appears like a normal 25-cent piece, the 1983 quarter is far more interesting than most people realize. It stands at the intersection of history, economics, production errors, and a rare supply and demand scenario that turned an ordinary circulation coin into a desirable collectible. The 1983 quarters were minted during a time when the United States Mint was under immense pressure. The early 1980s brought rising metal costs, inflation, and production inconsistencies. In fact, the Mint had suspended the production of mint sets in both 1982 and 1983, which was an extremely rare decision. Because collectors in those years could not buy official mint sets, the number of high-grade 1983 quarters in the world became dramatically small. Most of these coins went directly into daily circulation, where they were used, spent, damaged, and worn out. And that one decision, skipping 2 annual mint sets, created one of the most unusual supply shortages in modern U.S. coinage. At the center of this story is the design of the coin itself. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan. The portrait had been in use since 1932, marking the 200th birthday of the first president. By 1983, Americans were extremely used to this design, and the quarter had become a coin everyone handled daily without much thought. But even common designs can hide unexpected value, and 1983 is a perfect example of that truth. Turn the coin over and you'll find the classic eagle reverse design. Its wings spread boldly, perched on a bundle of arrows with 2 olive branches curved around the bottom. This eagle reverse, used from 1932 until 1998, is one of the most iconic images in American currency. However, 1983 marks one of the years when the mint was struggling with die wear, machine pressure inconsistencies, and sharp rises in public demand for circulating coins. All these factors combined to make some 1983 quarters come out with noticeable striking weaknesses, die cracks, or odd metal flow lines. Collectors today sometimes watch closely for these small quirks, because certain varieties can be worth more than ordinary examples. One of the most important things that makes the 1983 quarter notable is the existence of the 1983p double die reverse variety. Not every 1983 quarter has it, but some show a doubling of the lettering, especially on the words United States of America and E pluribus unum. This doubling happens when the die used to strike the coin is improperly prepared. Doubling can add significant value to the coin, depending on visibility and condition. For a circulation coin from a year without mint sets, even subtle varieties become important finds. Another element that shapes the identity of the 1983 quarter is that both the Philadelphia P Mint and the Denver D Mint produced unusually large overall mintages that year, yet very few of these coins survived in pristine condition. Most 1983 quarters simply lived a rough, everyday life. They were dropped in supermarket change drawers. They rode inside vending machines. They sat in pockets, got scratched by keys, and traveled through millions of hands. This makes high-grade survivors surprisingly scarce. A top-quality 1983 quarter, especially in MS-65 or MS-67 condition, can command strong prices among collectors even though the coin originally cost just 25 cents. Collectors often refer to the 1982 to 1983 scarcity effect, which describes how coins from these 2 years, ordinary circulation issues, became far more valuable in high grades due to the mint's decision to not release official mint sets. The 1983 quarter is one of the best examples of this phenomenon. Many people who saved random pocket change from the early 80s later discovered that the 1983 quarter, if preserved without scratches or wear, could sell for far more than face value. This is something that rarely happens with modern circulating coins, making the situation unique. But the story of the 1983 quarter isn't just about rarity, it's also about timing. America in the early 1980s was transitioning economically, politically, and socially. People used cash far more than digital payments. Quarters were essential for payphones, arcade machines, parking meters, laundromats, and public transportation. Because the quarter was such a heavily used coin in daily life, the vast majority of 1983 quarters were naturally worn down. This makes untouched examples even more desirable today. Another interesting point is the condition of the metal used during these years. The modern clad composition, copper-nickel layers over a copper core, was still relatively new, having replaced silver quarters in 1965. The mint was learning how to refine the clad planchet manufacturing process, and during the early 80s, there were still occasional inconsistencies. Some 1983 quarters display streaky luster, weak rims, or uneven surfaces. These mint-made imperfections give the coin a distinct visual texture that collectors sometimes enjoy studying. For a coin that millions of Americans once overlooked, the 1983 quarter has since risen in collector interest. Some pristine examples have sold at auctions for hundreds of dollars, and rare double-die varieties for even more. But what makes this coin truly special is how it teaches us a powerful lesson. A coin does not need to be ancient, made of silver, or part of a limited commemorative series to become collectible. Sometimes, everyday coins become valuable simply because of how they were made, how they were used, and how many survived. And that is why the 1983 Washington quarter deserves a chapter of its own in this series. It represents the unpredictable side of coin collecting, the side where ordinary objects can hold extraordinary stories. So as we move forward to the next parts of this series, remember that every coin has a past, every design has a purpose, and every date can carry hidden history waiting to be uncovered. The 1983 quarter is not just a piece of metal. It's a reminder that history lives in pocket change, and sometimes the most surprising treasures are the ones we see every day. The second coin in our lineup takes us to one of the smallest yet most historically rich states in America, Rhode Island. Released in the year 2001 as part of the United States Mint's legendary 50-state quarters program, the Rhode Island quarter carries a design that is both visually calming and symbolically powerful. When you first glance at it, you notice a sailboat gracefully cutting across the water, with the sweeping Newport Pell Bridge rising elegantly in the background. But this is much more than just a pretty design. It represents why Rhode Island is famously known as the Ocean State. Its identity, culture, and heritage are deeply tied to the sea, and this coin captures that connection beautifully. As you look more closely, the sailboat featured on the coin is a tribute to Rhode Island's long and proud sailing tradition. Newport, one of the state's most iconic coastal cities, has hosted world-famous sailing competitions for decades, including the prestigious America's Cup. The waters around Rhode Island are known for their beauty and their challenging wind conditions, making them a favorite destination for competitive sailors. The coin's designer chose to showcase a classic sailboat not only as a symbol of recreation and sport but also to represent the spirit of freedom and exploration that has shaped the state from its earliest days. The smooth curves of the sails, the gentle motion suggested by the waves, and the wide open water all come together to create an image that feels calm, peaceful, and full of motion at the same time. The Newport Pell Bridge, rising boldly behind the sailboat, plays an equally important symbolic role. Completed in 1969, this bridge connects Newport to Jamestown and stands as one of Rhode Island's most recognizable architectural landmarks. On the coin, the bridge appears long and sweeping, stretching gracefully across the ocean. It represents not only modern engineering achievement but also the connection between communities. Rhode Island is a state made of islands, peninsulas, and coastal roads, and the bridges that connect these areas are essential to daily life. Including the Pell Bridge in the design highlights the importance of infrastructure, innovation, and the ways people stay connected despite geographical separation. Another detail you might notice is the calm water beneath the sailboat. It reflects the state's quiet charm and the role of the sea as part of daily life. Whether it's fishing boats, leisure sailing, historic seaports, or marine trade, Rhode Island's waters are full of stories that go back centuries. Long before becoming a state, Rhode Island's harbors were active with merchant ships, fishermen, craftsmen, and travelers from around the world. Today that heritage lives on through tourism, marine industries, and cultural institutions. The coin manages to convey this deep history without overcrowding the design, which is part of what makes it so visually appealing in a small space. When it comes to minting, the Rhode Island State Quarter was produced in large numbers, just like the other coins from the State Quarters program. It was struck at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and a special silver-proof version from the San Francisco Mint. The circulating versions in your pocket or collection typically have a bright copper-nickel shine, while the silver-proof versions carry a deeper, richer brilliance that collectors love. Although most Rhode Island quarters are common in everyday condition, some special varieties, error coins, or high-grade examples can carry extra collector value. For instance, a perfectly graded MS-68 or MS-69 example from the Philadelphia Mint can sell for a significantly higher price than a regular circulated coin, because flawless coins are extremely hard to find even with high mintages. The Rhode Island Quarter also has a special place in the hearts of collectors because the State Quarters program itself was one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. Millions of Americans who had never collected coins before started saving quarters from each state. The excitement around each new release led to huge interest across the country. People built maps, albums, and displays trying to collect all 50 designs. The Rhode Island Quarter, with its elegant maritime theme, became one of the favorites, especially for those who love nautical art or coastal scenery. Another interesting fact about this design is the way the sailboat is positioned on the coin. It's angled to the left, suggesting it is moving forward with determination. This motion reflects Rhode Island's forward-thinking attitude despite being the smallest state in the U.S. by land area. The motto, "The Ocean State," is placed carefully to balance the composition, reminding us that almost every aspect of Rhode Island's culture, lifestyle, and identity is somehow connected to the sea. From boat-building traditions to seafood cuisine, from maritime festivals to coastal tourism, the ocean shapes the daily rhythm of life. Collectors often appreciate this coin for its artistic balance. The sailboat brings life and movement, the bridge brings structure, and the open water gives a sense of freedom. Even if someone doesn't know anything about Rhode Island, a single look at this quarter immediately communicates what the state cares about and what makes it unique. That is the magic of this entire series. Each coin tells a story, and Rhode Island's story is told through wind, water, and the gentle curve of a bridge stretching across the horizon. So whether you have this coin as part of a full 50-state collection or simply found it in your change one day, it represents far more than 25 cents. It represents American coastal heritage, the beauty of New England waters, and the pride of a state that has always embraced its connection to the sea. The Rhode Island quarter is a reminder of how even a small piece of metal can carry history, culture, architecture, and nature all at once, all captured within the tiny circle of a United States quarter. Welcome to part 3 of our deep dive journey into the most fascinating U.S. quarters ever released. In this segment, we focus on one of the earliest, strongest, and most historically rich state quarters ever minted, the Massachusetts 2000 state quarter. This coin was part of the groundbreaking 50 state quarters program, a program that ignited a global wave of collecting excitement and introduced millions to the stories behind each American state. And among those early releases, the Massachusetts quarter quickly became a fan favorite. Its design is clean, bold, patriotic, and deeply connected to American independence. So let's take a closer and richer look at this remarkable piece of American numismatic history. The Massachusetts quarter was officially released on January 3, 2000, making it the very first state quarter issued in the new millennium. The United States Mint selected a design that symbolized the spirit of revolution and the birth of a nation. On the reverse of this coin you'll find the famous Minuteman, a soldier from the Massachusetts colonial militia, one of the brave individuals who stood ready at a moment's notice to defend the colonies during the early stages of the American Revolution. The Minutemen were not regular soldiers. They were farmers, craftsmen, and ordinary citizens trained to respond instantly to threats. Their courage became one of the spark points that ignited the fight for independence. The Minuteman depicted on the coin is inspired by the iconic statue located at the Minuteman National Historical Park in Concord, Massachusetts. This statue, standing tall and proud, commemorates the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the very first military engagement of the Revolutionary War. When you look at this coin, you're not just looking at a piece of metal. You're looking at a symbol of courage, readiness, and the unbreakable will of the American spirit. Behind the Minuteman, the design includes an outline of the state of Massachusetts. This silhouette serves as a reminder of the region where so much early American history unfolded. Massachusetts was the center of intellectual resistance, home to key figures like John Adams, Samuel Adams, and John Hancock. Every line and shape on this coin connects back to that powerful legacy. And right across the middle, proudly placed, you'll read the words, "The Bay State." This nickname reflects the state's deep connection to Massachusetts Bay and its historic coastal industries, from shipbuilding to commerce. It's a nickname that has been used for centuries and is still recognized nationwide. The designers of the coin wanted to incorporate something simple but meaningful, and this short phrase ties it all together. Now let's talk about the technical side. The Massachusetts state quarter was minted in 3 major variants: Philadelphia P, Denver D, and a higher quality San Francisco proof version made for collectors. More than 1 billion Massachusetts quarters were minted for circulation, which means the coin is not extremely rare. However, high-grade versions, especially those with sharp details, no scratches and flawless surfaces, can be surprisingly valuable. Coins graded MS67 or higher can fetch premium prices among collectors because early state quarters in high condition are getting harder to find. Another interesting detail is the way the Minuteman is positioned. He's shown holding a musket, standing alert, with one hand on the weapon and the other near his waist. This posture communicates vigilance and determination, the same characteristics that defined the colonial militia. The sculptor who created the original Minuteman statue, Daniel Chester French, is also famous for creating the statue of Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial. So when you look at this quarter, you're also looking at the work of one of America's most respected artists, translated into miniature form. The Massachusetts quarter was highly praised when it came out. It captured both state identity and national history in one clean, powerful image. Collectors around the world admired its simplicity and the story it told. Many even consider it one of the best designed early state quarters because of its balance, symbolism, and visual clarity. The background of this coin goes beyond the Revolutionary War. Massachusetts has long been a center of education, culture, innovation, and politics. Harvard University, MIT, the Boston Tea Party, the birth of American literature, the Industrial Revolution. All of these roots trace back to Massachusetts. While the quarter does not show all of that visually, it subtly represents the foundation of American strength and progress. The coin's release also dramatically boosted public interest in coin collecting. In the early 2000s, millions of Americans, children and adults, began saving quarters for the first time. Schools used state quarters to teach geography and history. Families built collections together. And many new collectors still remember the Massachusetts quarter as one of the first coins that sparked their fascination. If you hold this coin today, flip it over and observe the obverse side. Like other Washington quarters, it features the classic portrait of George Washington. But because this coin represents the state where America's fight for freedom gained momentum, Washington's portrait almost feels even more meaningful. So what makes the Massachusetts 2000 state quarter special? It's not just the metal or the minting. It's the story, the bravery of the Minutemen, the legacy of freedom, and the pride of a state that played a central role in shaping a nation. This is one of those coins where history, art, and patriotism merge beautifully to create something unforgettable. This concludes part 3 of our 7-part exploration. Stay with us as we continue discovering the stories, symbols, and secrets behind America's most interesting coins. The Tennessee State Quarter, released in 2002 as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, is one of the most visually rich and symbolically powerful coins in the entire series. When you first look at this coin, the design immediately stands out, because Tennessee chose to highlight something that has shaped not only the identity of the state, but also the cultural heartbeat of the entire United States: music. This coin proudly displays 3 iconic musical instruments: a guitar, a fiddle, and a trumpet, arranged together in a decorative ensemble with a banner that reads, "Musical Heritage." These instruments aren't random choices. Each one represents a major chapter in Tennessee's deep musical history. The guitar reflects Nashville's country music legacy, home of the Grand Ole Opry and countless legendary artists. The fiddle represents the roots of Appalachian and folk traditions found in East Tennessee. And the trumpet symbolizes Memphis, a city famous for jazz, soul, and blues. All 3 instruments together paint a picture of a state that has contributed more to American music than perhaps any other place in the country. Behind the instruments, a musical staff stretches across the design, almost as if the coin itself is playing a melody. And although it's a small coin, the artwork manages to capture Tennessee's identity beautifully. Beneath all these symbols sits the year it entered the Union, 1796. The engraver combined everything with balanced detail to produce a design that still feels crisp today. For collectors, this coin is interesting not only because of its design, but also because of its massive popularity when it first came out. Millions of people across America saved Tennessee's quarter due to its musical theme, making it one of the most commonly collected pieces from the early 2000s. While most circulated versions are worth face value, collectors still seek high-grade, uncirculated pieces that display original mint luster. And like many state quarters, some special versions exist, such as silver-proof editions struck in 90% silver, which carry additional collectible value. But beyond value, this quarter tells a cultural story. If you think about it, Tennessee is known as the home of iconic genres: country, blues, rock and roll, gospel, and soul. Elvis Presley recorded in Memphis, Dolly Parton grew up in Tennessee's mountains, and Nashville became the heart of the country music world. Each of these influences shaped American identity, and the quarter reflects that entire journey in one compact design. So when someone holds this coin, they're not just holding 25 cents, they're holding a symbol of America's artistic legacy, a tribute to the musicians who transformed generations. For anyone making videos or collecting U.S. coins, the Tennessee State Quarter is the type of coin that always keeps viewers engaged, because it's not just history and not just design, it's emotion, stories, and culture. Whether the coin is found in pocket change, an old jar, or a collector's set, it remains a reminder of how strongly music can influence a nation. And that is what makes the Tennessee State Quarter one of the most memorable coins of the State Quarters era. Welcome to part 5 of our detailed deep dive series, where we uncover the hidden stories, history, design secrets, and collector value behind some of America's most fascinating quarters. Today we turn our attention to one of the most visually powerful and nature-inspired coins of the entire America, the beautiful quarter program. The 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter, representing the state of Louisiana. This coin is more than just a piece of currency. It's a tribute to untouched wilderness, a celebration of wildlife, and a reminder of the natural heritage America has preserved for generations. So let's begin this journey into the forests of Louisiana, where quiet landscapes, soaring birds, and deep history come together in one remarkable design. The Kisatchie National Forest Quarter was officially released in April 2015, becoming the 27th coin in the 56 Coin America the Beautiful series. Every quarter in this series honors one national site, and Kisatchie's selection was especially meaningful because it is Louisiana's only national forest. Spread over 600,000 acres, it is home to longleaf pine trees, rare birds, scenic byways, military history, and deep cultural roots that date back centuries. The coin captures all this, without any words, through a single powerful image. On the reverse side of this quarter, the centerpiece of the design is a wild turkey in flight, its wings expanded and feathers stretched in dramatic detail. This moment captures the instant the turkey lifts off from the forest floor and rises into the open air, symbolizing freedom, motion, and natural beauty. The wild turkey is an iconic bird of the region and has long been a symbol of American wilderness. It's also an animal that almost disappeared at one point in U.S. history but recovered thanks to conservation efforts, making it a perfect symbol for a protected national forest. Behind the turkey, you'll notice an open landscape with grass, small trees, and a backdrop of longleaf pines. These pines once covered much of the American South, but today survive in limited stretches. Kisatchie is one of the places preserving them for future generations. The open field shown on the coin is not just empty land, it's a carefully chosen detail that represents Louisiana's diverse ecosystems, from savannas to woodlands. Around the edges of the reverse, you see the inscriptions Kisatchie, Louisiana, 2015, and E Pluribus Unum. These elements complete the coin's message, a proud representation of a natural site that belongs not just to Louisiana, but to the entire nation. Now let's talk about the obverse side, the front of the coin. Like all quarters in the America the Beautiful series, this side features the well-known portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932. Even though the reverse changes from design to design, the front remains a symbol of continuity, trust, and long American coinage tradition. The inscriptions United States of America, Quarter Dollar, Liberty, and In God We Trust appear on this side as well. But what makes this coin truly stand out from many other quarters is its strong connection to wildlife and conservation. Instead of buildings, monuments, or historical figures, this quarter celebrates nature itself. For collectors, this gives the Kisatchie quarter a unique charm. It's a coin that almost feels peaceful when you hold it, a moment frozen in metal showing an animal in full motion. Now let's discuss the minting details. The 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter was produced at 3 major U.S. mints: Philadelphia, P. Denver, D. San Francisco, S. Including proof versions, highly polished coins meant for collectors. The circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver are the ones most people find in pocket change. They were minted in the tens of millions, so they aren't considered rare under normal circumstances. However, condition matters significantly. A Kisatchie quarter found in MS65 or MS66 grade, meaning excellent, near-perfect uncirculated condition, can have noticeable collector value because high-quality examples are not easy to find in circulation. The San Francisco Mint struck 2 special versions. Clad proof, mirror-like background with frosted design. Silver proof, 90% silver with stunning shine and contrast. Both types are sought after by collectors who build complete America the Beautiful proof sets. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated Kisatchie quarters are still worth 25 cents. But uncirculated or graded ones can rise depending on condition. Mint state MS65 and above can range from $2 to $10, depending on the market. Silver-proof versions can be worth $10 to $20 or more, especially if perfectly preserved. While this coin is not considered rare, it is growing in popularity because the America the Beautiful series ended in 2021, making the full set a collectible historical program. As collectors try to complete all 56 designs, demand for certain pieces, including nature-themed ones like Kisatchie, continues to rise slowly over time. Now let's reflect on something important: the story this coin tells. Quarters are used every day, handed from person to person without much thought. But this coin invites us to stop and look closer. It reminds us that America's identity is tied not just to cities and leaders, but to forests, rivers, wildlife, and the land itself. It tells us that beauty, heritage, and meaning can exist even in the smallest object we hold in our palm. So whether you're a collector, a student of history, or someone fascinated by America's national sites, the Kisatchie National Forest Quarter is a design worth appreciating. It captures the spirit of the wilderness, celebrates conservation, and preserves the story of Louisiana's natural landscape, all in one shining piece of metal. And that completes part 5 of our 7-part series. In the next section we'll explore another fascinating coin from the lineup, continuing our journey through America's history, nature and artistry, one quarter at a time. Welcome back to part 6 of our detailed exploration of the 7 fascinating U.S. quarters featured in this series. In this chapter we turn our attention to the 2016 Shawnee National Forest quarter, a beautifully crafted coin that celebrates one of the Midwest's most impressive natural landmarks. This coin is part of the America the Beautiful series, a long-running program by the United States Mint that highlights national parks, forests, and iconic natural wonders across the nation. The Shawnee quarter is not just a piece of currency, it's a miniature work of art that captures the rugged beauty and geological significance of southern Illinois. Let's begin with the basics. The Shawnee National Forest is a protected wilderness area spanning over 280,000 acres. It sits between the Mississippi and Ohio rivers and is known for its dramatic rock formations, lush forests, deep canyons and breathtaking views. The most iconic landmark in the forest, and the feature chosen for this quarter, is Camel Rock, a large sandstone structure located in the Garden of the Gods recreation area. This natural sculpture is instantly recognizable for its camel-like shape, carved slowly over millions of years by wind, water, and erosion. The choice to place Camel Rock at the center of this coin's design captures the raw and timeless beauty of the region. On the reverse of the coin, you'll notice Camel Rock standing boldly in the foreground. The Mint's engraver did a remarkable job bringing the cliff's jagged edges and textured surface to life. Just beside the rock formation, you can see a red-tailed hawk soaring through the air. This bird is widely found in the Shawnee region and symbolizes freedom, wilderness, and the harmony of nature. The hawk adds a sense of movement to the design, making the scene feel alive and dynamic, as though you're standing right there on the vista, looking out at the rugged landscape. Around the edge of the design you'll find key engravings, Shawnee at the top, Illinois beneath it, and 2016 at the bottom, representing the year the coin was issued. The phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, appears on the reverse as well. This motto has been used on American coinage for more than a century and represents unity in diversity. A reminder that the United States is a nation built from many states, cultures, and stories. Turning the coin over, the obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932. Washington's image has been the heart of the quarter for over 90 years, symbolizing leadership, independence, and the nation's founding legacy. The inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar appear around the portrait just as they do on other quarters in this series. Beyond its artistry, the Shawnee quarter carries a deeper meaning. It honors the American tradition of preserving natural spaces, ensuring future generations can enjoy unspoiled wilderness. The Shawnee National Forest itself was created during the 1930s as part of major conservation efforts. Much of the land was once damaged by farming and logging, but over time, restoration, protection, and replanting allowed it to transform into the thriving habitat it is today. By featuring this forest on a circulating coin, the U.S. Mint reminds us of the importance of caring for the land and respecting the forces of nature that shape our planet. Collectors appreciate the Shawnee quarter for several reasons. First, it's part of a prestigious national series that many people collect from start to finish. Second, the coin's design is visually striking, making it stand out compared to other America the Beautiful releases. And third, certain versions of this coin, such as the uncirculated, silver-proof or high-grade mint-state specimens, can carry added value for collectors. While the regular circulation strike is worth its face value of 25 cents, high-quality versions graded MS65 and above tend to sell for more. In exceptional cases, coins with minting errors or perfect preservation can bring an even higher price on the collector's market. But beyond monetary value, this quarter holds story value, a tribute to millions of years of geological history and thousands of years of human connection to the land. The Shawnee region has been home to Native American tribes, frontier settlers, travelers, and explorers, all of whom admired its towering cliffs and dense forests. Today it remains a favorite destination for hikers, photographers, and nature lovers. As we close out Part 6, the essence of the Shawnee National Forest quarter becomes clear. It is a symbol of natural endurance, a reminder of America's wild beauty, and a celebration of landscapes that remain untouched by time. Whether you hold this coin as a collector, a traveler, or simply someone who appreciates the stories behind everyday objects, The shiny quarter serves as a timeless connection between people and nature. Today's final chapter in this 7-part series brings us to one of the most unique modern quarters ever released by the United States Mint, the 2021 Washington Crossing the Delaware Quarter. This coin is special for many reasons. It represents history, bravery, leadership, and a turning point in American independence. While many people think modern quarters are simple circulation coins, this particular one carries a powerful story behind it, a story that goes back to one of the most dramatic nights of the American Revolutionary War. The front of the 2021 quarter still features the familiar portrait of George Washington. But what truly makes this coin stand out is the reverse side. It shows an iconic scene: General George Washington standing tall on a boat, crossing the icy Delaware River with his Continental Army on Christmas night, December 25, 1776. This moment marked one of the boldest military decisions in early American history. The design is full of motion and energy. You can see Washington gripping the edge of the boat, soldiers rowing through rough winter waters, and the sense of determination that shaped a new nation. This coin was released in 2021 as a special one-year issue. It came right after the end of the America the Beautiful Quarter series, which ran from 2010 to 2021. Instead of jumping immediately into the new American Women Quarters program, the U.S. Mint released this standalone design to honor one of the most defining events in the country's founding. It is the only quarter in modern times that focuses entirely on Washington as a Revolutionary War general instead of his usual presidential portrait. The artist behind this design is Benjamin Sowards, and the sculptor who brought it to life is Michael Gaudioso. Together they created a powerful, dramatic image with deep shadows, sharp lines, and strong storytelling. The boat, the soldiers, the icy river, everything comes together like a scene from a historic painting. The level of detail is remarkable for a circulating coin, and collectors immediately noticed how striking it looks compared to regular Washington quarters. The story behind the design goes back to December 1776, when the American Revolutionary War was going badly for the colonies. Washington's army was exhausted, low on supplies, and losing battles. Morale was collapsing. People questioned whether independence was even possible. But then Washington made a daring decision. He planned a surprise attack to turn the tide of war. On Christmas night, he led his troops across the frozen Delaware River, braving deadly winds, icy waters, and dangerous conditions. They marched toward Trenton, New Jersey, and launched a successful attack early the next morning. This victory became a symbol of hope and resilience for the American cause. The coin captures not only this historic moment, but also the determination and courage of the people who fought for a new nation. It's not just a coin, it's a reminder of risk, leadership, and the belief that even in the darkest moments, bold action can change history. Collectors appreciate this quarter for several reasons. First, it was minted for only 1 year, which automatically makes it more interesting than regular long-running designs. Second, because it was produced during a design transition year, it stands alone with no series attached. That gives it a special identity. Third, the artwork is visually dramatic, making it one of the most eye-catching modern quarters in circulation. The coin was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint mark is P, Denver is D, and San Francisco is S. Circulation coins from the P and D mints are very common, while the S-proof versions are usually found only in collector sets. Although the coin is widely available today, perfect uncirculated versions and high-grade proofs already attract interest among numismatists, especially those building complete modern quarter portfolios. Value-wise, circulated coins are worth 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples graded MS66 or higher can sell for a premium, and the S silver-proof versions command even greater value. Because this design was produced for a single year, many collectors expect its long-term collectible value to increase slowly over time. But beyond value, the 2021 Washington Crossing the Delaware Quarter is appreciated for what it represents. A moment where history turned in a new direction. It is a tribute to Washington not just as a president, but as a commander who led with vision and courage at the most crucial time. Holding this coin feels like holding a miniature historical painting, a snapshot of the struggle that shaped the United States. As we wrap up this 7-part journey through the unique and diverse world of U.S. quarters, this coin serves as the perfect final chapter. It blends modern minting with deep historical storytelling, reminding us that coins are more than metal, they are moments. Moments carved into history, moments carried in pockets, and moments passed from one generation to the next. And this quarter, with its bold depiction of Washington crossing the Delaware, is one of the strongest examples of how powerful a coin's story can be.